everyone? Welcome to the cast today. We got Dirty Diet Boys versus Big Bongo Boys, and I'm Jonny Esports. I am joined today by my Shellitronnn. How you doing, my dude?
Going, Johnny. We have a great matchup today. Week 2 of the Risen Rampage League. Both teams here are 1-0 going into this matchup, and we're looking at a very, very interesting fight between the boys, the Dirty Diet Boys, the Big Bongo Boys. It's gonna be exciting one.
Yeah, exactly. We're actually already into the bans. We've got Udyr, Seraphine, and Nivea ban out by Big Bongo Boys, and over on the other side, Ezreal and Vel'Koz. So lots of poke being banned out. Does kind of suggest that maybe they don't want to get poked out before they engage into a fight, so we'll see if that's what that is about. So we're looking into this Big Bongo Boys team a little bit here, and they are interesting in the sense that they flex roles. Not just do they flex champions to different places, they themselves, the players, flex roles all over the place, so it'll be very interesting to see where people go in this game.
Yeah, they have a lot of different flex and sub potential. You can tell what player's playing where depending on which champion gets picked. So right here with this Sion first pick from the Big Bongo Boys, this is gonna be we've seen some of their players play Sion jungle, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is Dinugalsaur playing this Sion jungle. Not really my favorite. It couldn't go top, but I think he mostly plays it there, and that's answered by the Dirty Diet Boys with the Threshed Jinx, a pretty strong lane with a champion that just did get buffed very recently.
Yeah. With the patch previous before, they upped the kind of attack speed bonus they get from the rockets for Jinx, which is just like huge. I'm a huge Jinx player, by the way. And what they did though at the time was nerf Jinx's early game by taking down 60 HP for her, which was actually awful. It felt terrible, but they've reverted that, put the HP back on Jinx, so now she's not easily destroyable in the early game, so you can get to that late game Jinx and be a nightmare. So that'll be an interesting lane to watch as we go forward here. Morgana being picked on the other hand, so it looks like we're getting the Senna Morgana lane, so they couldn't ban enough poke on the other side. They're still going to get poked down here by Senna.
Yeah, when you get rid of that Ezreal and that Vel'Koz, and you still see on the other side, it's going to be Senna Morgana. That's a lot of lockdown and a lot of poke. Boxer Squirrel does play this Senna a lot, and he does. And the reason they banned that Ezreal out because he's a really strong Ezreal 60% win rate in solo queue. But we do see the Dirty Diet Boys go ahead and pick up this Set, who can be very, very annoying in the top lane. He can even be a menace in the mid lane if you can play him correctly.
Yeah, certainly that is certainly a possibility there. As we, as you said, are locking in that Set as we get into the second round of bans here. So it looks like they're banning out the Gnar, which seems to be a bit of a priority for High Gus in the top lane. So they're going to be able to take that one out for that one. So it'll be interesting to see where they kind of go with that. Again, this is a team that sometimes moves people around. The Sion already taken out, so they are suggesting that this could still potentially be a jungle Sion. So they're respecting that by taking out the Gnar still.
Yeah, you have to go ahead and respect what Dinugalsaur can do with that Scion in the jungle. And it looks like for the most part, outside of these last two, the Nico and the Sejuani, both teams banning out the most annoying champions. The Udyr, the Seraphine, and Nivea, all extremely annoying. Strong for sure, but also very annoying. Ezreal, when he gets big, can be really annoying. But you do see the Nico, Sejuani, and Diana. Now, Diana is not a very meta pick right now, but Pagans does play her, and if she's able to get to the middle of your team comp, get in there and attract everyone in there, she can be a problem.
Yeah, it could certainly be that. It looks like we're hovering the 0 right now, which kind of matches the scaling with the rest of the comp. You kind of have Thresh and Set that kind of help you out early on and then provide that bruisery kind of frontline potential there. And then you pair that with the Azir and the Jinx. They're going to be crazy scaling on the Dirty Diet Boy side.
Yeah, but I am a little bit worried about the priority here. I mean, you're going to go ahead and blind pick your mid when they are showing their jungle. Why not show a little bit more priority to your jungle pick? I mean, they're not going to ban any more out at this point. They only banned out the Sejuani. But, I mean, there's a lot of... you could have gotten the counter pick mid, and you can get the counter pick in the jungle as well. But we'll see how things work out as this volley does get hovered, and it is going to be locked in. Most likely, you can probably go ahead and bet that's going to be the top volley bear, but it still could go jungle.
Yeah, still, that's all entirely possibilities. And of course, too, over on the Dirty Diet Boys side, Set can go into the jungle too as well. So potentially that could be kind of seen there. And maybe that's why they didn't want to pick their jungle pick right away, because they have this potential for that. So it's all in the world of possibility here, as they are looking for their last counter pick here. Does give them the option to potentially pick a jungler hero or pick themselves top laner into that set there. So we'll see as we are getting to and this looks like it's gonna be that Cho'Gath, which will then likely be in the top lane. So yeah, Set does end up going to the jungle, so they kind of keep that for them.
That's extremely interesting because although Set can be he can be a jungle, he's fallen out of favor, fallen out of the meta as a jungle pick. If you can get that phase rush and you can get the hex splash, you can do a lot of cheeky level 2 ganks that you flash in, get the face breaker, and see if you can blow a flash on the side of the big Bongo boys, and that can put you up in priority to make moves later on in the game. So we'll see how that works out. We haven't seen the Set jungle in quite some time, but like you mentioned, some very strong scaling with this Jinx and Azir, and Cho'Gath, if he's able to have a very strong laning phase, can be big both in power and in size.
Yeah, that exactly. That's the naming of this game here, is that they're going to scale super well on both sides, really. You do have a little bit of an awkward where is a lot like of your damage going to come from for big Bongo boys. Like Senna does a ton of damage nowadays with that Kraken Slayer build, but that's kind of like the be all and end all for your AD. Yeah, Sion does commit some of that, and yeah, Volley and Galio do have some magic damage to them, but mostly tanks, of course. So it'll be very interesting. They kind of have a lot of eggs in a Senna basket, which is not your traditional hyper carry, the Eddie carry, like not your typical like Vayne or Kog'Maw or something like that. So they're kind of really relying on Senna to do a lot of work on Big Bongo Boys, and that might come to punish them as Dirty Dive Boys have more of that like kind of spread out between their solo lanes and of course their bot lane too as well. So I my instinct right now is that Dirty Dive Boys win the draft based on that. But what do you think about that, Shellitronnn?
No, I have to agree with you because although Senna does become an extremely destructive monster on the Rift at about 3 items, but you're trying to scale on this Senna and you can't go fasting Senna with the Morgana in lane, so it has to be the
Yeah.
80 the ADC Senna. So you can't really wait on that Kraken Rage Blade rapid fire cannon because you're playing in the Dirty Dive Boys hands. If you wanted to
Mm-hmm.
wait for the late game, you have to deal with this Jinx, this Azir, this
Yeah.
Cho'Gath. And if you have Galio, okay, Galio's it has a good dive potential. You can go in, get maybe a 3-4 man taunt, but
Mm-hmm.
he's probably gonna have to go AP. I mean, like you mentioned, there's literally no AP outside of Morgana, no real dependable AP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we have seen some Riftmaker Volibear builds, so we'll have to
True.
see if that
True.
comes out. I tried Riftmaker Volibear. I saw a post about it. I said, okay, how about maybe this could work. It didn't work for me. One game I did really good. One game I did horribly. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
at least for me, they didn't really work out the way I thought it might. But yeah, you're gonna have to look for maybe the Galio not being a frontliner in all likelihood. Maybe trying to get some real distinct and diversified damage output for your
Mm-hmm.
solo laners. But if you're waiting on the Senator to go ahead and scale, then you're playing directly into Diet Dirty Boy's hands, and
Yeah.
they definitely will come out on top on that.
The other half of this is that there is going to be a little bit of power spike for Big Bongo Boys when they all hit 6. Like you say, Galio hitting 6, and then Volibear being able to dive, and then everyone just kind of like, diving some lane and trying to set Dirty Diet Boys really behind. But that basically leaves you at this very small window where you're going to be at your strongest. And if you don't take advantage of that for Big Bongo Boys, that could leave you in a lot of danger here where Dirty Diet Boys, they just got to like realize if they're on their comms, they're just like, hey, they're all 6. We just chill for a little bit. Even if like you give up a bunch of CS and you're just chilling back, you can even give up a tower and you go, hey, we just chill because as long as they don't take too much from us during that like level 6 to 8, after that, the game is just all yours.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the case. And what you have to also look at with Big Bongo Boys, they have a ton of lockdown. The taunt from Galio,
Mm-hmm.
the Q from Volibear. You have Senna lockdown. You have the binding from Morgana. Obviously, Scion's a freight train coming at you from 18 screens away. So you know how that's going to work out. They have amazing pick potential. So vision and positioning and shot calling going to be the name of the game
Definitely.
for the Dirty Diet Boys early on. Like you mentioned, Big Bungo Boys have an early game disadvantage, but when they hit 6, there is a very good dive and pick advantage you can get. So positioning on the map, and then also walking into Big Bongo Boys, if they have priority in their lanes and they're able to rotate to these objectives, it's going to be pretty hard for the Dirty Diet Boys to actually walk into them because there's so much lockdown and so much poke coming
Mhm.
out from the side of Big Bongo boys and so much zoning that if they're allowed to get priority and sit in those pits, they it's probably nigh impenetrable outside of some mispositionings or some faulty or less than confident shot calling.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see about that. Well, we're going to take a quick break here while we wait for the competitive integrity delay, and we'll be back with more Dirty Diet Boys versus Big Bongo Boys in a few moments here. So don't touch that browser, and we'll see you soon.
There is one thing that I know, and it is as we grow, life gets worse as we grow old. Beating on my heart like it's a drum, beating on these walls and my hands are numb. Make me believe that I can receive, achieve the happiness that I once perceived as fine in school, whatever. It's fine in school, whatever. I thought this life was easy, but nothing seems to please me. These scars they cannot heal. Pain is the only thing I feel. The only thing I feel. Is it real? Is it real? It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. This life we live is fragile. This glass castle, so many problems to tackle. Just wait for it to unravel.
right, everyone, we're back and ready to get this best of three started. So, we talked about this a little bit in the Champ Select, and we kind of have a ticking time bomb where eventually it just feels like the Dirty Diet Boys will just outscale the other team and get it going. But if it ends up being a bloody early game, it could be potentially an interesting one. So, we'll here to watch how this game one goes.
Yeah, and we do see an early invade. Probably just going to get some vision here, but we do see Pachatory, the whole top half of the map for the Dirty Diet Boys coming in and getting that ward onto the blue. And they're going to know exactly what start this is going to be for the Nugalsaur on this Scion. And we see them go ahead and back away.
Yeah, they're just going to back off from that one. So no crazy action going on in this early game here. But, I always want it to happen. I'm just my first cast in a little bit. I've been casting a lot of Counter-Strike lately. It's my first League of Legends cast in like maybe a couple of weeks. So I'm like, I want to see some action, get something going. But so far, no, both teams respecting that, and I think that's pretty wise, at least for the Dirty Diet Boys. Again, they're the team that just want us to kind of just get there and just chill while it happens. And there is some pretty big pick potential on Big Bongo Boys, as you were mentioning. So they don't want to play with that. Don't want to play with fire early on.
No, not at all. And this it's not even ultimate pick potential. It's all level 1 pick potential.
Yeah.
On the side of Big Bongo Boys. But on the back end of that, we did see Photography Raptor and Shellitronnn come in and get a quick little ward on the Raptor camp. So they have vision on both sides of the map. They're gonna know where the Nugalsaur was gonna start regardless. As we do see both top laners just go ahead and trade. But you want to take your eyes, just take a quick little gander at the keystone for the Nugalsaur on this Scion jungle. He does take Graph. This might be a new tech I'm not aware of. We'll have to see how that works out for him in the late game.
Generally speaking, in case you don't know, of course, Grasp is something you want to take usually when you're in lane because you're going to be able to stack it a bunch when you get there. So it is a bit of a curious choice to have it in the jungle. So we'll just have to see how it works out for them. As we watch High Gust get a very effective engage on top of Bubba Gums here, going to put them down to about 250 HP. So nice start for High Gust in top lane.
Yeah, High Gust really did come through, and with that level 2 spike, he goes ahead and gets the stun, able to pop the lightning shield. I believe he got that shield bash off as well. It was a really good trade. Now, obviously, it's Cho'Gath up there, pops his pots, has Grasp as well, so he's not doing too bad in terms of health right now, back to like 90%, as the binding just misses from the Morgana.
Yeah, just able to kind of avoid that as they're getting a little bit of a CS advantage right now in the bot lane. Gonna push this in. Potentially want to try to push this in all the way to get a cheater back. I'm not sure how much Photography Raptor likes that strategy or not. I guess I'll learn more as we keep going forward with the Dirty Diet Boys here on their style for that. But got themselves a pretty significant CS lead. Of course, there's still like all these minions for this Senna to start picking up now, but you won't get all of them because it is fairly awkward to CS on Senna early on. So if they miss half of them, that still might be like an entire wave advantage for Photography Raptor.
Yeah, the name of the game for Photography Raptor and Statlander is going to be pushing out very early on as... Wait a minute.
Joe Defense gets on top of Pagans, but those soldiers, they smack, my dude, and trade back very, very efficiently. Joe Defense actually losing on the end of that trade.
Yeah, and very lucky for him. Good summoner, just awareness. Just go ahead and walk away. Don't use that flash. Able to survive there. He doesn't have any kind of pots. We'll see if he actually started cookies in the next. Actually, no, we've seen by now. He did not start cookies, and we do know that Pagans has that. He used his last corrupting pot right there, so he's gonna be doing all right in both mana and health in the mid lane. We did see Pachatory go top. As you see, High Gust go ahead and try to trade again on this Cho'Gath. Spotted out the Nugalsaur on the Scion, taking that Scuttle Crab. So he's able to slow down and come back to the bot lane to get that one. As he postures in the mid lane, potentially making a move on this Galio, who is still about 40% health.
Yeah, and it's kind of a difficult prospect to kind of get at because Galio can become so tanky too as well. So just kind of hanging out over there. Both junglers kind of near the bot lane. Of course, Dragon spawning up here in about 5 seconds now. So that will be starting to go in play. Not super familiar with... Ooh, the flash.
Ooh.
I don't think that was going to hit. I think that was going to hit the minion, but respect anyway. Flash is out of that one. So that will be send a flash down. We'll see how the team uses that information. And yeah, I was about to ask, can Set do Dragon solo at level 4, and it looks like they're at least going for it. And they have priority over here in the mid lane and in the bot lane here. They are just fighting right now as Photography Raptor is just focusing on the CS, while Sad Lantern is just dealing with the rest of them. And yeah, it does look like Patchatory will get away with this and be able to grab that dragon.
Yeah, he's not able to do it very healthily, it looks like, but he is able to do it with no flash. He had a flash, but looks like he got away there with about 150 health. So like the dragon, which is very interesting because the Nugalsaur was right there hovering in that tri-brush.
Yeah.
If he had made a move to just even check, if he had a ward and sound in the dragon pit, that was an easy kill onto a set.
Yeah, and another part of it, even if he doesn't go there, I know I'm maybe slightly higher level jungling than what's kind of going on in this level, but like, I feel like that was a risk that you could have been giving up your own jungle while you were doing that, because it took 45 seconds for him to finish that dragon, where if Nugalsaur was paying more attention, maybe they could have counter jungled a whole bunch during that whole time, just stolen a bunch of camps and got better gold value from that dragon curly. While we tune to top lane here, High Gus does his 6 and tries to use that to get on top of Bubba Gumps here, but Bubba Gumps still will live past that. They're both chilling here at half HP each. Intriguingly enough, plated steel caps right now for Bubba Gumps against the kind of AP that comes up from High Gus. So still working out right now as Bubba Gumps has healed up a little bit here, and High Gus is out of mana, so is forced back out of here. The knockup is going to hit too as well as Bubba Gumps continues the chase, but High Gus does eventually flash away and will be safe from there. It does still have the ability to teleport back to lane, but likely can just walk to it as Bubba Gumps might just freeze here.
Yeah, you really might just freeze. You can just go ahead and keep that summoner spell. Interestingly enough, like you mentioned, well, not like you mentioned, but both top laners having to blow their flash. You mentioned earlier that the Senna that Boxer Squirrel on the Senna had to blow the flash with the thresh hook from maybe like 2-3 minutes ago. I've seen very ambitious thresh hooks weave their way in between the pixels on a couple of ranged minions. So I guess I can understand.
In the heat of the moment, it's super worth the respect of just like, if you're not, even if you have some doubt that you'd miss it. Ooh, speaking of missing it, barely dodges that hook there, probably saving Boxer Squirrel's life, and they actually win out of that trade a little bit for that. And of course, any damage that was put on the Senna there will just get healed up by a couple Qs too. So nice play by Boxer Squirrel and Nagoyan there in the bot lane, as they're kind of weathering that storm though. But again, Jinx is up by a ton of CS, and it just keeps happening here. And we'll see if Cyan will come help. Is down near the bot lane, does have the potential to use the unstoppable onslaught, but decides to not at this time and is just backing up.
You know what? I want to go back to the point you made about the steel-plated caps, the plated steel caps on Bubba Gumps. Now, I can understand taking it against his Volibear. There are there's AP scaling on his abilities and whatnot. If the hook comes out, nothing gonna happen there. There's a black shield regardless, but when you think about Bubba Gumps, he's picking up these caps, these boots just for lane. Like right now, it's going to be a lot of AD on the side of this Volibear. But when you see there's the Morgana, the Senna, the Galio, and even High Gus's stun himself. Yeah, there's a lot of value there in getting the Merc treads.
Yeah, I would think so. At least this would be my thought here as High Gus.
Strange Q.
Ooh, here's a fight in the bot lane. Q does hit onto Photography Raptor, but Sad Lantern will use Sad Lantern to help their friend out, get them out of there. So they're still surviving here as the 2v2 has basically literally just been a 2v2. We're not seeing any jungle interference in this lane, the bot lane, which I'm sure Boxer Squirrel probably wants some help at some point. But speaking of help, here's Peggins trying to help himself onto Joe defense. Patchatory is right here too as well. And the ultimate will come through from the set to knock him back. And first blood will be the reward. Patchatory got the first kill of this game.
Base breaker into the showstopper. Now he did have to use his flash, and he is not running Hex Flash. That's very interesting on a set jungle for sure. But wait a minute, Ash might not be over here.
As we get into this top lane, Bubba Gumps and High Gus here trading as often as they do. But here's Dinoglossaur in the area, Patchatory in the area too for the counter gank, but it doesn't come from Dinoglossaur. They just aren't really pulling the trigger here. Patchatory's now coming into this towards High Gus, using the ultimate to just get out. Stormbringer is leaving the scene.
Yeah, and In this lane right here, the Stormbringer mixed with the Qs from Cho'Gath is going to turn this into a bounce house for both these two champions. Well, really for the Volley Bear, but very interesting that we did see Denuglsaur. He noticed that the counter gank was coming from Pachitoy, or he was still hovering, but he saw the set coming through, and I thought there could have been an opportunity there for set to or for Denuglsaur to get a counter engage, but he still kept the back channel there as we see Joe Defense clearing out some vision in the pixel brush. But I found it very interesting that he didn't make a move to maybe try to peel for his almost 1 HP volley bear in the top lane.
Yeah, yeah. We thought potentially that would need to happen, and just want to do a quick CS check, and basically, Dirty Die Boys are just winning everywhere. They're able to kind of get that one down. Dinosaur, who hasn't really visited a lane, is the one person who's kind of winning on just the CS, but of course that kill essentially makes up for that 5 patch story here, and you have 1.5k gold lead mostly on just CS happening right now for the Dirty Die Boys, so good on them right now through this early game, and like you said, we're at kind of the point where they needed to start making plays here for the big Bongo boys. They all hit 6 a little while ago. They're all like 8, 7, 9 now. They need to start making proactive plays, and they haven't done that. And right now, it's just looking like it's just gonna go slowly and eventually to Dirty Diet Boys if the game keeps just going like this.
Yeah, and if you look at the map, Dirty Diet Boys have so much vision. That whole river is red. So there's so much vision there. It looks like they're going to go ahead and see Big Bongo Boys trade that second dragon over for this Rift Herald. And as the push, most likely... Oh, wait a minute.
High Gus in a bunch of trouble here, but we'll get some help from Dinoglsaur finally. Will run right past them with that unstoppable onslaught, but Bubblegums flashes forward, trying to make a play here. We're trying to knock up. Flash comes up from High Gus to get out of there, so somehow Bubblegums lives through this. Meanwhile, virtually Free Dragon happening over in the bot lane. Joe Defense and Pegans having a 1v1 in the mid lane right now, but Pegans will just be able to kind of clear out these minions fairly effectively, and that will be all of that. So we have a 2 dragon advantage on the scaling team, gold advantage on the scaling team. That's 2,000 up, and they are well on their way here for the Dirty Diet Boys.
Yeah, this is what you don't want if you're the Big Bongo Boys. The team that hard scales and outscaled you, especially since your only carry on the team has to scale. They're already ahead. They're already accelerated this early in the game, 12 minutes in. It's not looking very good as another fight breaks out in the mid lane potentially.
Joe Defense does dash in, tries to use the taunt to get something done, but Pagans will divide the Empire, and then the Showstopper will follow it up. Joe Defense go down low, about 200 HP. Meanwhile, another engage is happening on top of Pagans here. So, my Guts is going to get on top of them, but does Pagans live? No, does go down eventually. Joe Defense might actually live through that one here, so this is actually working out the other way. Double kill now going over to High Gus, and somehow that fight was turned around for Big Bongo Boys, and you can see what this composition could do at this time. They just need to be doing stuff like this sooner, but let's see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, when you bring 4 members of the team to the mid lane, both your bot laners and your top laner all come to the mid lane. As High Gus, what are you doing? You took that last turret shot.
Yeah, just didn't respect the flay from Thresh, which honestly, it's like that bit of CC that brings you in an awkward spot that leaves you in a trouble where you die like that. And here comes the hook hitting on the Boxer Squirrel. He's going to jump forward and get going on top of it. Boxer Squirrel will go golden and live through that. Nogayan will end up getting the gold for the kill there. But nice outplay, actually, that gets put together using that stopwatch.
I don't know if that was an outplay. Why did Shellitronnn follow that death sentence? He didn't have to. he took it. First of all, it looked like Denuglsaur blew his flash with that Boxer Squirrel. Whoever he hooked there flashed. I don't think we need to flash there. But under the turret, as we see Pegans taking a quick trade. Joe Defense has a lot of defense, so he's just going to walk right away from that. Those Sand Soldiers, no problem. As Photography Raptor does take this this turret in the bot lane, going to be the first one. That's going to help this gold advantage for the Dirty Diet Boys. But Shellitronnn following that death sentence seemed a little bit strange to me, a little bit questionable.
Yeah, a little bit there, but right now they still have 1,000 gold lead. A lot of that because of the 40 CS lead right now. We're seeing the bot lane Photography Raptors got a shutdown on them with 0 kills. So you know someone's farming well when that is happening. And right now, Boxer Scroll's got to just basically catch up on that, but also on that because it's not the fasting Senna is needing to kind of catch up on even souls to make themselves super relevant in terms of that statistic there. They currently have 35 in a 50-minute game, which is like roughly half of what you get if that was a fast Senna. So that's pretty rough here. We're seeing Sad Lantern making their way over towards the top lane, trying to see if they can punish High Gus. They're pushing a little bit too far here. That's a lot of minions they will also lose as well. So even if this kill doesn't go through, those minions will go down. Bubba Gumps does make the kill go through. So that is a huge play and a nice one put together by Bubba Gumps, who's just clearly dominating this lane right now.
Yeah, and High Gus had the ult just 1 second after he died. Maybe he was able to get a disengage there. Wow, great hook from Sad Lantern.
Yes, Sentence comes out. The traps are there too as well. There's a little narrow spot where Dinosaur is able to get out of there, but again, this still denies all these minions which are going to die to this tower. They're also going to probably finish off this tower, hopefully leave the tower with enough HP to take out the rest of his minions too as well. But that's just a huge, nice little play there once again. But here's Joe Defense trying to make something happen over in the mid lane, but really is just going to be able to back out of that is Pagan. So nice way to avoid that. Boxer Squirrel and Nagoya are trying to push her on here. That's a nice binding getting hit on top of that. Dive potential there, but they decide not to go for it, just focusing on the tower and taking the for sure game.
Now, Johnny, you said you are a Jinx main, right?
Yeah. I play a lot. I play a lot of different champions to be fair, but I play a lot of Jinx.
So you're familiar with Jinx. What?
Yeah.
How long is that cooldown on the ultimate?
At level 9? At level 9, I think it's like a minute and a half without cooldown reduction.
Okay, so yeah, in that play in top lane when Denuglsaur was about maybe a third HP left on his bar, I did notice that Photography Raptor did have his ultimate there and had a pretty clear shot to make that happen. I was waiting to see it. Now look, he didn't have the Kraken at the time, so he may not have been able to get the kill potentially, but I thought that could have been a good shot to go ahead and just use the ult, throw it out there, and make sure he had it 100% back and not take his Gromp when he was still in the jungle.
Yeah, that is potentially there. And just a quick note, it's actually 80 seconds right now with the cooldown from the Cloud Dragon that Jinx is getting, so it's an 80-second cooldown right now. But yeah, it was potentially able to go for it. Surprisingly, Jinx Rocket doesn't do as much damage with the current build of Jinx. They're going a lot of attack speed lately. Even when you just kind of first build just Kraken Slayer, you kind of just build attack speed after that. So your Rocket doesn't do as much damage as back in the day when you would just build 380 items straight up. So it is, it might have been enough at the time, but it's tough to tell. Here's a hook getting hit by Sad Lantern, though, to begin this engage here. And here's the first big fight of this game. Jumping in is Joe Defense, trying to get onto this front line. The Emperor's Divide will push them all the way back here. And watch these Jinx Rockets fly. Flashing forward is High Gus, trying to make a play, but does just kind of get poked down. Bubba Gumps will then be the next focus target for Big Bongo Boys. They will eventually take him out. It's currently a 2-for-2. Here's coming in, trying to get on top of Photography Raptor, who flashes away and is able to get some more damage on down. Meanwhile, Boxer Squirrel did also take out Sad Lantern on the other side there, so that's going to be a double kill now for Boxer Squirrels. They keep going forward now. Photography Raptor surrounded, triple kill onto this carry. They get the 1 kill back there for the Jinx, but it will be an ace and a 5-for-3 in the long run. But of course, Dragon now going over to Big Bongo Boys.
Yeah, it's a 5-for-3, a nice little ace for this side of Big Bongo Boys. But the MVP of that fight, 100%, was Joe Defense, as the teleport is going to be brought in here. Both sides. Bubba Gumps walks backwards first.
Ooh, this is spicy. Does have the ability to potentially want to jump onto this. Just want to quickly. They do not have flash on them, so they can't even jump over this wall. So right now, Bubba Gumps just kind of in a tough spot, just trying to run away from the rest of them here. High Gus and Bubba Gumps can fight over here, but doesn't want to continue that fight because everyone else will continue joining it. But here is the rest of the team now of the Dirty Diet Boys trying to get some exit frags after this Dragon. Dinosaur will be taken down here, gets silenced up, will be taken out. Patch Tory will grab the kill for that, prove their score to 2-2. So they get the 1 kill, but again, the Dragon go over the other side means they're not on Soul Point, which is just something they really wanted to be on, but it's still not the kind of the end of the world here. Up by 1.3k gold, and we're seeing some good preactive plays by Big Bongo Boys to make sure that they don't just leave this game alone.
Yeah, and I thought that they should have been proactive early on, but seeing this at the level of proactivity at this level of the game, I'm actually glad to see that because they have a very strong pick comp. Now, I want to talk about that teleport from Bubba Gumps. They are very, very fortunate that the Noogle Sword died on the back end of that play because, Hex Flash and a hook. That doesn't land, but the binding does.
Yeah, no follow-up able to be produced from that. Of course, it is just Boxer Scroll and Naguyan down here right now. The rest of the team now joining the area, but weren't around right away. I think Joe Defense might have had ultimate. So now they're all here and ready to get this fight on. So this binding potentially might see some follow-up on it, but will not be able to do that either. So they will finally get out of that situation here. And it's a bit scary because you do have Boxer Squirrel who is getting there, is certainly getting there. Obviously, with a triple kill in that big team fight, has got themselves in a good position now, sitting at 4-1-4, and potentially start collecting and getting to the point where they're the hyper carry that this team is trying to make this center.
Yeah, so 4-1-4, got a triple kill in that last engage, but still about even, maybe even behind Photography Raptor. Both have Kraken, both have Zerkers, but Photography Raptor does have that Zeal. So even though you do get that triple kill, you are still down 40 CS to this Jinx. And I mean, you're doing all right. I think you're doing fine on this center. You've got a very great front line between the Volley Bear, the Scion, and this Galio who is going in, who is going the tank variety of the build, which is very great. So you have a lot of speedy boys, a lot of good front line that can get a lot of lockdown and help you peel, as well as your support here with Naguyan on this Morgana, who can both bind and protect you with that Black Shield. So you're going to have a pretty free chance, as long as you don't have any mishaps or mispositionings. This center should have a very great chance to go ahead and scale. And that triple kill in that fight, although it didn't get you very far ahead or ahead at all of the opponent ADC and Photography Raptor, it did give you a great gold infusion, because imagine what the gold and items would be if you hadn't. Actually, no, gets the RFC right now. Able to get the RFC. Not getting the Rage Blade second though. It's interesting.
Yeah, there's actually a bit of debate on that, just because Rapid Fire, that extra range for that first auto attack is so huge. It applies the slow with the glacial augment there for that first auto attack, right? And then potentially just gives you the ability to continue following up with attacks. So there's actually a bit of argument on the more utility that essentially that extra range kind of gives you with the Rapid Fire cannon. But of course, we'll likely then want to get into the next item there after that.
The Ginsu's Rage Blade.
As the French call it.
Yes, as the French call it. But I mean, if there's anything on this side of the big Bongo boys, there is utility everywhere you look. Up, down, left, right, start, select. All of the members of both teams all have the mythics, all have tier 2 boots. I'm looking on the side. We do have Lee Andrews coming out for Pagans on this Azir, as pings are going down for the top laner for Bubba Gump, so go ahead and push this tier 2 turret perhaps. All we're seeing here is a death squad. You see the whole team of big Bongo boys. No one is side laning. No one's trying to get any kind of push in a 1-3-1 or anything like that. They're going as a kill squad. You're gonna get locked down, and there's so much follow up here that even the front line can go ahead and kill you. But we do see 30 seconds on this Mountain Drake. They're looking to go ahead and even the score up, even the stacking, and this is going to be a great soul for the big Bongo boys if they're able to get it. All that front line, all those resistances are going to be so great for them. So if you're the Dirty Diet boys, you want to make sure that you get this to get the soul point yourself, but also to make sure the big Bongo boys don't get anything started for themselves either.
Yeah, here we go. They're actually starting a big fight here. Now the dragon has spawned up, so all 5 members of both teams are hanging her out. So potential explosion here. Oh, Photography Raptor got hit by that binding. That could have been danger, but narrowly avoids that one. So that sentence also flying up from Sad Lantern will put them a little behind here. Here go Bubblegums, hits a knock up. Can a follow-up happen there? Not quite. Photography Raptor gets hit here by the binding from Boxer Squirrel. So that'll slow them down here. They've got Nagoyan down pretty low here. Joe Defense is right into the back line. He's going to be able to taunt up a few members here. Empire Divide comes out to push them back. Photography Raptor trying to apply damage on the front line. Showstopper comes up, push back. Oh my gosh. Photography Raptor does vision. Nagoya will take out at least Sad Lantern. 1-for-1 now. Joe Defense jumps back in, taunts up 3 of them. Photography Raptor is going to back away and let the team do some work here. Turn back around, get a double kill. 3-for-1 now for Dirty Dive Boys. Factory now by themselves up against High Gust and Dinosaur. The haymaker there will survive them for a moment there, but High Gust does eventually take them down. They're focusing on to this dragon now as Pagans and Bubblegums are trying to do the zoning to keep them away, while Photography Raptor is putting on the damage onto this dragon, and the dragon will go down. They put themselves on soul point and only had to lose one of their lives for it.
Yeah, fight on 2 fronts there. We do see Joe Defense go ahead and choose the backline, but wait a minute, Bubblegums isn't done.
Yeah, sticking around for a little bit too long is Dinosaur right now. Does not have ultimate to get away, but does have Flash. But that'll be a big cooldown gone as that Baron is in play.
Yeah, this is a really strange decision to try to push this mid lane. We did see, while that big skirmish, the big fight was happening in the river, and we do see Dirty Diet Boys on soul point. Dirty Diet Boys have 3 lanes pushing. You can see the top wave is already at the T2 turret. That wave bot was a little bit further up. So while Photography Raptor was doing very well to basically solo that dragon on the back end of that fight, after Joe Defense had a very, very strong showing, trying to get into the back line and he had a 3-man taunt. But to me, it seems like the decision making and the positioning just was not there for the side of Big Bongo Boys, and it looks like the scaling, even though you did get that center, that triple kill in that last fight, the scaling is slowly starting to the win con for the Dirty Diet Boys is coming into fruition, is coming online right about now, the 26-minute mark.
And one thing I want to point out too is during that fight, like if you look at the Jinx items, they just built Runaan's now, but before that they actually had built the Last Whisper first instead of just building straight into Runaan's Hurricanes items, which I think was really smart from Photography Raptor. Just kind of gave you that 20% armor penetration to get through all these tanks that are kind of in front of them, gave them that power there, and it's good active thinking about the build instead of just autopiloting to the Runaan's Hurricane as fast as possible. I think that was a really, really smart decision because that puts you in a great position in that team fight there with able to get the damage they needed.
Yeah, when you have a Turbo Chem tank and you have the plated steel caps and the Bramble Vest coming out from the 2 top laners, as well as the Sunfire Aegis on the Nugalsaur, you're gonna have to. You're definitely gonna need to have some sort of protection. So much armor, so much protection, so much just tankiness in general on the side of Big Bongo Boys. We see the Seeker's Arm Guard does come out for Joe Defense, and while he has had some very good engages, some very good decision making in these team fights, I feel like his usefulness hasn't really been followed up upon well enough in these fights.
And that's where it comes in when you only have the single damage threat. Like if say if High Gust was on a carry top laner to kind of follow up on, Joe Defense had multiple 3-person taunts in that team fight, and there wasn't enough follow-up because Boxer Squirrel can only shoot 1 person at a time. So, like, Q hits multiple people, but you know what I mean here. Meanwhile, the Goyans got themselves really, really in a bad spot here. Photography Raptor will pick up that kill, pushing way too forward the support right there for Big Bongo Boys. That is instantly punished, and now they're going to push in the rest of this mid lane and potentially think about this Baron off that mistake.
There's so much vision. You can see all that red on the map right now for the Dirty Diet Boys. They really could make a push here. Cho'Gath in the bot lane does have the teleport available, so you could make a move as that. There is a way pushing into your tier 1 top, but just gonna go ahead and get a lot more vision in the jungle, take away that from the side of the Nugalsaur, get him down a little bit more, or get him try to decelerate his CSing. But what you notice is Nagulian on the Morgana, the wave was at the T1 turret, but she was pressed up to the river. That was a very strange positioning for the support there.
All right, here we go. Some posturing around the Baron right now as they start that dance, but looks like they're backing off from that. Pagans here, it might be caught in the mid lane by themselves, but we'll use Emperor's Divide and then shuffle away to be able to get out from that one. So they kind of bait out the ult from High Gust too as well on that exchange. So that'll mean they can kind of back up here. And again, that Goon squad right now for Big Bongo Boys kind of realizing that their strength comes in numbers. They're just trying to see if they could find a isolated member of the Dirty Diet Boys. And so far they've been unable to do that in the past couple minutes.
Yeah, they have a lot of strength in numbers, but the number to really look at is is the 43 seconds left on this potential Soul Dragon for Dirty Diet Boys. So while you do want to go ahead and get rid of this vision in the top side river, if you're the Big Bongo Boys, you have to understand that you are in danger of this game just getting out of hand. Mountain Soul on the side of Dirty Diet Boys isn't as strong as it is on you, but this Cho'Gath, the set, and even the Thresh itself. I mean, you have more protection from Photography Raptor, who does have gonna be getting toward that third item very, very soon on his next back, which is happening literally right now as we speak. There it is, Lord Doms. So you don't want. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, Bubba Gumps gonna catch himself in a little trouble. Maybe this was the numbers advantage they were looking for, but Bubba Gumps will respect that with the flash and get out of that situation. But yeah, here we go. Dragon is spawned up now, and first to the action are the Big Bongo Boys. But here come the Dirty Diet Boys as they're ready to contest on this one. Flash from Sad Lantern will back away from that knock up here. Naguyan's gonna hit a body on a Photography Raptor, but the cleanse comes through to get back out of that, and now they're trying to get the fight. High Gus continues on top of the Jinx, but the Megan fight is happening in the middle here as Pagans does take out Naguyan. Photography Raptor trying to run away here from High Gus, will get the help from the rest of the team to take down that top laner. Sad Lantern then goes down to Boxer Squirrel, but a double kill now comes through from Bubba Gumps. They come over here to join the rest of the fight. They'll take them down, then they'll take the Dragon as their reward. 4-0. Huge team fight for the Dirty Diet Boys.
Almost wiped there for the Dirty Diet Boys, and they claim the Dragon Soul. This is what happens when you have great engage tools. Like, Big Bongo Boys have amazing engage tools. They got the binding, able to flash in and get the very good start to the fight. But you started the fight, and then what else? What can you do? You have a lot of burst potential, but there's no actual damage as this Baron experiences a lot of damage. That Baron got taken away very, very quickly. I mean, that was just amazing. You do see the Sign of the Jungle he does have this the Titanic Hydra now. That's going to be some damage for you, but I mean, at this point, a 4-1-3 Jinx, you have a 2-item Azir, and this Cho'Gath is going to be going crazy. Already has the Frostfire as well as the Gargoyle Stone Plate. You're already in a position where you have to catch them out. You have to have a significant advantage in any engage in a team fight. Dirty Diet Boys aren't making mistakes. They're not gonna give you anything, so you have to take it away and catch one of them out. And I'm not sure that's gonna be how possible that's gonna be in the next, let's call it 2-3 minutes, as we see this push going on.
Well, we talked about the times like 10 minutes ago. That exact same engage on that Dragon fight, that's possibly won by Big Bongo Boys. But we're past that point. We're at 32 minutes with this team composition with Azir and Jinx. That scaling is in play now. They're very far ahead, and a nice cleanse from earlier from Photography Raptor at the beginning of that led it to the possibility for them to continue that fight here, but they're still going to go for it here. Photography Raptor is pretty low, so they want to get on top of that, but they have tons of peel. They're able to back you off of this. They're trying to run it at them. Dual Swords trying to get to the back line. They do eventually get onto this Jinx. Now Boxer Squirrel will be able to take out Pachatory, so it's actually a 2-for-0 advantage here. Bubba Gumps does take that one down, so at least High Gus is taken out, but they're continuing to move forward. Pagans here, though, does apply a lot of damage. Boxer Squirrel will get the next kill on this fight, too, as well. They'll continue that. On top of them, they're focusing front to back here, and it's working out for them. But Pagans comes in and picks out a couple more kills to give himself a triple. Bubba Gumps, still alive, will be the only one standing. He wins the Battle Royale. Everyone else is dead.
Wow, Bubba Gumps on this Cho'Gath, which is almost the size of the actual Baron Nashor, is just so tanky. Now, that was a great engage from Big Bongo Boys. Dirty Diet Boys is staying a little bit too far. They were in a 4-1, and it was actually Bubba Gumps who was at the top lane, has to burn his teleport to help out in the back end of that engage. But we did see Boxer Squirrel putting in a lot of good damage. We did see High Gus saying, "Look, guys, I can just imagine what the comments were. It's like, look, guys, we're so far behind. I'm going in. Stormbringer into the he used the flash, but he uses this Q to get in there, and he just gets tunnel vision on Photography Raptor on that Jinx. He says, I'm going in no matter what. He gets flayed, gets showstoppered. He said, I'm going in on this Jinx, able to get the shutdown there. And from that point on, they had a very strong advantage until Bubba Gump said, no, I'm still here, I'm still here. And he's able to just expand his lead 6-1-8 on this huge Cho'Gath. And That was a good engage. I think it was a very good fight from Big Bongo Boys. They
Yeah.
did get aced. They get aced, but I mean, it was
They
a
killed 4
4
of
for
them.
5. 4
Yeah,
for 5.
and honestly, that was a good engage, and that was basically a best case scenario over the result of that team fight. But like, how are they gonna kill Bubba Gumps? They just can't. There's a mountain soul on Bubba Gumps right now. All the items you already mentioned on Bubba Gumps, and your only damage dealer is Senna, who more effectively kills squishier targets. It is not great, and yeah, you're gonna want to see something like a Lord Dominic's going to go on to the Senna here to maybe start dealing with that. But their 3 items in their build, and their Kraken Slayer and their Rage Blade is while that will melt down almost everyone else in 3 shots. I don't know how they kill Bubblegums.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely difficult to go ahead and find a position where you're able to have an advantage. Now, we do see Baron up in 2 minutes, but there's gonna be a potential fight being postured for in this topside river.
That's about the only target that the binding won't be very effective on, but they're going to continue on this gauge anyway. Identical Sword comes in for the flag, is on top of Sad Lantern here. They're trying to jump and get onto the Jinx, but again, the peel is still in play there as they're able to get them to back off. Identical Sword is trying to back up to join the rest of the team so they can try to focus down Bubba Gumps, but again, how do you kill this man? He's still alive. Identical Sword does go down. Eventually, the Photography Raptor, they will finish that off. The Death Sentence will hit on the High Gust. Sad Lantern will follow that up. Boxer Squirrel does find their way to get a kill onto Pagans, but eventually just dies for their own efforts here. Joe Defense just using the taunt to slow down Pagatory and back them off. So, yeah, Bubba Gumps. Look at him. Look at this big boy.
He's huge. He's a big boy. That's a big chungus right there. And the 2-for-1 going over to the side of Dirty Diet Boys. And that's what happens when you're Big Bongo Boys and you spend all that time focusing down this Cho'Gath. You can just see in that fight, they're just spending a ton of their damage on Bubba Gumps. And he's just saying, okay, if you want to do that to me, that's fine with me. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Boxer Squirrel is able to get a quick little shutdown onto his ear. An extra 300 gold in his pockets. He does have those 3 items. He has the Kraken, the Rage Blade, and the RFC. So Senna is officially online.
Yeah, last
well
whisper now too.
That last whisper as well. You're gonna need to get some armor pin on the side of Big Bongo Boys if you want to.
Oh, Nagoyan. Oh, Nagoyan, you saw the hook miss you, and then you still went to that bush. That's just a questionable play there, Nagoyan. But here is Elder Drake, and now you don't have a support to help you out. That support that has been supplying those picks that help you out with this, and they're nowhere near. They're not even going to try to contest this. They're all just kind of going to lane trying to get some gold here because they know they lost to Elder Drake.
Yeah, you have to give, and that's not the first time Nagoyan has had some questionable positioning, especially when it's near the time for a objective to be taken on the map. So that's just a little bit strange, a little bit disheartening on the side of Big Bongo Boys. You've seen the last 2 engages. You've looked decent. You've looked better than expected, I'd say. But seeing Nagoyan on this Morgana stepping too far forward, knowing that there's so many members of the team on the side of Dirty Diet Boys in the area, knowing there's an objective up at that moment, and you still get caught out, especially for a champ like Morgana who does have the Black Shield as well, you're putting yourself in a bad position, you're putting your team in a bad position, and when you see that you can't see it, but a 10k gold lead for the scaling team with all the damage and a front line that cannot be destroyed, that's not what you want to see at this point.
Yeah, and I don't want to just sit here and blame Nagoyan. Like, it's one of those things that, like, you're just brain fart, I guess. You saw the hook miss you, and like, oh, they must have just backed off. If you're wanting to learn something from this game, folks watching at home, it's that they never just back off.
No.
they're still there, and you need to respect that. So that's something that hopefully Nagoyan will kind of like bring back to the drawing board when they review this VOD in the future here. Meanwhile, Baron is going to be pretty darn free because look how freaking fast they did it. Didn't even give me enough time to talk about it. And yeah, they have Soul, they have Elder Drake, they have Baron, and now they just got to go take a base.
Oh yeah, they have the Rift, they have the push. I mean, they have Big Bongo Boys in the palm of their hands.
Oh, nice avoiding the Shurima shuffle there for Boxer Squirrel, but it probably won't mean too much as they're just going to jump right on top of you. Photography Raptors got excited after that tower went down and just ran at you. Nagoyan tries to go golden, but it won't mean anything this time around. Double kill now comes through for this Jinx as they continue to go forward. The Super Mega Death Rocket will miss on Dinosaur, but regular rockets do a lot of damage too. So they'll continue that going forward. Then Bubblegums comes in and eats you. Dinosaur is trying to run up to the Photography Raptor, but you can't get to him because Bubblegums is too big. He's too tanky. He's too chunky. Game 1 victory will go to the Dirty Diet Boys, and they're well on their way to win this series.
This man Bubba Gumps on the Cho'Gath was bigger than the towers. He was about almost double the size of the Nexus itself. I mean, when you're 8-1-11 on the Cho'Gath, 4 items, had the Knight's Vow. So I mean, even the appeal he had and the chunkiness he had wasn't just for himself, it was for his team as well. He said, look, I know I'm big, but I can go ahead and have some ability to help out my team as well.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you love to see. This was just a strange draft from Big Bongo Boys. It was an interesting one, but one that had to execute very, very early to counteract and get ahead of this hard scaling comp from Dirty Diet Boys. Because if you were even going to the mid game, you're actually behind. You had to be ahead. You just had to be ahead. And I just noticed that the Nugalsaur on that Scion just wasn't very proactive early on as a jungler.
No,
This is
wasn't.
a jungle meta. You can't hard farm, especially on a Scion in this meta. You have to spam gank.
On 11.4, it's really hard. And there was just times where I called it. I was like, oh, Dinosaur's in the area. I'm waiting for the gank. I'm setting up the gank that's coming. And then you just see him press the B button. And he's just like actually teleporting back to base. He's like, oh, he didn't actually do it. He didn't press R and run at them, which is your run across from 18 screens away, like you said in Champion Select. And so that never kind of came to fruition. But we'll see if they change anything up for next game. We'll take a quick break here as we get into game 2 of Big Bongo Boys versus Dirty Diet Boys. Dirty Diet Boys, of course, up 1-0. Let's see if we get one more game or two.
There is one thing that I know, and it is as we grow,
And we are back. Dirty Diet Boys moved over to the blue side after winning game one. Big Bongo Boys now into the red. Let's see what changes in this one. Dirty Diet Boys continuing to draft, or rather ban away that Poke, picking out the Vel'Koz. Udyr banned away by Big Bongo Boys, and again, Ezreal banned.
Yeah, so we do see a quick little sub here. High Gus goes over to the support role, and Sticks the Ender comes in at top lane. Now he is a jungler. He's an Udyr main with a 76% win rate. So big Bongo Boys actually bang that out themselves on the red side. Let's go ahead and prove that he's gonna be playing top, not jungle. The Noogle Sword is still in. And once again, we do see the bans being the annoying champions: Vel'Koz, annoying Poke, Ezreal. Stop it. Once he gets that second item, he can be a monster at 3 items. He's just hitting your back line with impunity, and it's disgusting. Udyr and Seraphine is pick ban right now. You can nerf her all you want to, but unless that ultimate gets nerfed, that encore, it is she will always have a place, and she can go for the very cheap Moonstaff build, which can make her have a very strong place in a team comp no matter what. Although I prefer Leandry's into Seraph's. Anyway,
fair enough. Well, her damage is absurd. Is kind of part of the problem for this person that's really supportive. That's why you can play Seraphine mid lane. I think when they eventually nerf the damage on her, she'll then just become kind of a support pick, and that ultimate will still be very, very prevalent from there. But anyway, we won't see that this game, so we don't talk too much more about that. Looking like Set is being hovered once again. Worked out real well in the jungle over there. Again, a flex pick for the Dirty Diet Boys. So, no, they're going to switch over to Psy, and they're going to show Big Bongo Boys how you're supposed to play it, and they're going to lock the first pick side.
Yeah, this is, you guys didn't know what to do. You didn't even attempt a gank until like level 6, level 7. So let me show you what a Scion, a real Scion player can do. Now, this could go to Bubble Gumps in the top lane. He does play Scion top a little bit. So let's not get too excited for the BM, but it could be that for the Dirty Diet Boys. And the answer on the side of Big Bongo Boys is the Neeko first pick. Some very strong priority for the Neeko here.
Yeah, last time the Neeko got banned out in the second round of ban, so I guess they're going, well, if they're going to ban it out, Joe Defense potentially wants to play it, so that is being picked up there. Nautilus going to be the support too as well, barring any sort of shenanigans. We've seen Nautilus randomly be a flex pick, but it likely support in this case.
Yeah, and that also gets rid of the questions of whether this Neeko might go to the support role. We do see it being played mid on this team comp, so it is what it is. Nautilus is going to be support. Neeko is going to be the mid laner. And interesting enough, again, for the Big Bongo Boys, not getting that priority on their, well, they actually had the first pick jungler there, but not getting priority on their jungler in this round of picks very early on is very interesting. We do see the Alistar picked for Dirty Diet Boys, and I really want to see something very, very strong here. Probably the Samira, that's up as well. Maybe the Kai'Sa, although Photography Raptor doesn't really play the Kai'Sa, he does play Samira. This could be a very strong lane, even though she was nerfed.
Yeah, she was nerfed, but honestly, I've played a little bit with Kai'Sa being a gear player and think it's just fine. Like, it's still just an absolutely absurd chance, so that's potentially still on the table too. I'm actually curious about like the no rel priority in this draft here. We're seeing Nautilus and Alistar kind of going to fill those same kind of roles there, but Dirty Diet Boys are going to go back to that scaling that worked so well for them. They got the Zir going to be locked into the mid lane once again. Then Trundle going to be actually a very interesting pick, going to potentially steal some of the resistance from the enemy team there.
Yeah, Trundle is a champ that, I mean, I like Trundle a lot. I used to be a Trundle one trick. Right now I have like a 70% win rate on him. But Trundle is one of those picks where the build is very expensive early on, and you don't really want to be spending too much time in the jungle, farming in this meta. But he wants to get that Bombies, unless you go to Sundra build. He wants to get that Tiamat as well. But we'll see how this pick does work out. He does get played by the Noogle Sword quite a bit. But the Senna and the Gnar is going to be banned out in the second phase by Dirty Diet Boys. And then the Jinx, the Big Bongo Boys said, look, Photography Raptor, you're not getting on this Jinx again. And the Sejuani, you're not going to be on this, is it an ox? What is Sejuani on? What animal is that?
A boar? I forget. My lore knowledge isn't the best in the world, not going to lie. So, some skins, it's a giant pig. So maybe it is a board. Maybe I'm right about that. I don't know.
Yeah, all I know is I know the skin. It was one skin with the pig. I was like, I sound like pig always. Is it? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, fortunately, we're not here for completely our lore knowledge and more of the in-game stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Zaya looking like the 80 carry here for Dirty Diet Boys. Gonna give you that. It's a pretty good idea. Seeing it's pretty short range in the enemy team. Zaya works really well versus short range compositions. So they'll get that, and then they're gonna grab Jarvan here. So it looks like Sion or Jarvan will be put into a solo lane, which will be, of course, interesting.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be the Scion in the solo lane with Jarvan being the jungler. But let's talk about these last two picks for Big Bongo Boys. Swain makes sense. I've seen Swain APC. I played a little Swain APC. It can be very oppressive in lane, especially with that Nautilus. The hook just cannot, literally, it's coded. The hook does not miss. But Singed for the
This
Big
is
Bongo
intriguing.
Boys. Sticks the Ender saying, hold up, hold up, hold up. You took our Scion. I'm going to show you something about this Singe. Now, this is a very, very interesting pick. A pick that lets me know we're out here to have a little bit of fun here. We're not worried about the playoffs or anything in this league. We're trying to have fun. And if this works, maybe we pick it a little bit later again. This is a pocket pick.
Yeah, and it seems like potentially just kind of going to comfort, because if I think about functionally what this comp is supposed to do, it's a bit confusing. You kind of we're setting up this front to back Nico, Nautilus, Trundle, and then potentially you wanted to add an 80 carry into that, but then you kind of like make your last couple picks Singed and Swain, which are potentially Singed as someone who wants to just kind of run and grab someone in the back line, but you have Zaya kind of on that other side, which edges it well. We've seen how well the Azir from Pagans does to peel off anyone trying to run at the back line. So it is interesting. But again, at this level, sometimes after losing a game in a series, you go, let's just play some comfort. So potentially that's just what we're seeing here.
Ooh, it looks like the lobby did crash there, but I want to talk about this comp still. It may not still be on the screen, but the Big Bongo Boys are running into a problem, the same problem they had last game. Frontline, interesting scaling options, but no real sustained damage. You have the Swain. Maybe you can get a pick on the side lane with Singe, but I highly doubt it, honestly, unless you have a smurf of a lane against this Scion, as the bans and the picks and bans will come through again on the client. But I mean, your best case is for this Swain to scale. Hopefully, you get a flash pop blossom with a Nico. Trundle can go in and maybe still. This is like maybe some of the stats from Alistar or Scion, but Dirty Diet Boys scale. Zaya scales very well. Azir scales very well. I mean, the front line is another very strong front line, and there's a lot of the Jarvan engage is very strong as well. This looks like a recipe for a very similar situation as last game.
Yeah, and I was a little bit hopeful after the first three picks, to be completely honest, that the Big Bongo Boys were going to put together a team comp I can make sense of. Let's put it that way. Where they had like secondary source of damage potentially from Nico sitting in the solo lane this time instead of like the Galio. And then we're going to potentially, like, if they had like a regular 80 carry kind of come in there, then maybe Singed could be anything else. Singed, okay. I don't want it to sound like I'm just a Singed hater, because you've seen Singe just spoil solo queue a lot. Everyone's kind of been in that game where that Singe is randomly dumpstering the top lane because they don't know how to deal with someone proxying their wave. But in a more organized atmosphere that competitive play brings, like this, it's really hard to play Singed in this game. So it makes it hard. And then your final pick is the Swain too, when you don't actually have any AD damage on your team. So you had this opportunity, like normally, like, if you're in the bot lane, you're like, okay, I picked Swain because my entire team is AD, and now I can be like the one AP source for our team. You don't have that here. Your entire damage profile is AP, and you have last pick where you don't use it on an AD champion. The bongos are playing on my head, getting me confused here from the Big Bongo Boys. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the bongos are playing, and it just boggles the mind how this Swain and Singe, the last two picks you have. I mean, you have these picks here, and it really makes you wonder what the comms were during pick ban, and this must have been something that worked in scrims. Singe Swain as your top and your APC with Nico mid, I don't know. Like the Trundle can work. In the correct way, the Trundle can work. But uh, there's no way you see Scion, Alistair, Azir, and then
And then
Zaya Jarvan, and then you go,
take a look
okay,
and see. Okay, guys, we got this. Swade. Let's.
yeah, yeah.
I got my Singed. Let's go. Like I don't know. Yeah, sorry, again, I don't want to just sit here and flame because we do have sometimes have to sit back and sometimes I don't know about you, sometimes I've casted like Masters Plus Challenger level games and you get this really high level play and sometimes you come back to the gold silver gate and to be fair I'm a gold player so I'm not trying to sit here on like a mighty pedestal. I am just a gold player. But I just look at stuff like this and it just scratches my head, man, and I don't know what else to say other than prove me wrong, big bongo boys. I want to see you come out of this here. Yeah, maybe this is slightly a Dirty Diet Boys Homer stream, but I want to see why you thought this composition could work. And I'm calling you out. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, and I to go on that point as well. Like I've questioned Pixel 4. I've questioned some very interesting picks in my casting days where I was like, no way this worked. This has to be some kind of either BM or I guess he just didn't really care about the game or whatever. But it actually ended up working. But the strange thing is, okay, so you have last pick, you have Swain. The Swain could work, but the thing is, Boxer Squirrel does. I mean, his Ezreal got banned out, his Trist got banned out, or his Senna got banned out. But he does play Trist. Tristana would work in this comp.
There's
I
a
mean, the
million
thing,
80 carries. There's so many
yeah,
that
yeah.
could work.
Look, name an 80 carry and let's go. That will work in this comp
Yeah.
most likely. But I
Uh,
mean, really you pick Singed and even you try to proxy. If you proxy, okay, well there goes your priority for taking heralds, or that
yeah.
opens you up for maybe getting some deep vision and now you know who the jungler is. It's a the win con for big bongo boys is one where you have a big 5 head because you have to be the
Yeah,
smartest
it's hard.
and I don't know what's gonna take, how you're gonna take objectives, how you're gonna position in team fights, and what you're gonna do once you're there. Because if you get a good engage, where's the follow up?
Who knows? Well, only I know is that we're going to take a quick break here as we wait for the spectator delay. We'll be back with game 2 of Dirty Diet Boys versus Big Bongo Boys. Dirty Diet Boys up 1-0. Let's see if they close it out or if Big Bongo Boys surprises us with this crazy team comp. We'll be right back, folks.
There is one thing that I know, and it is as we grow, life gets worse as we grow old. Beating on my heart like it's a drum, beating on these walls till my hands are numb. Make me believe that I can receive, achieve the happiness that I once perceived as fine in school, whatever. It's fine in school, whatever. I thought this life was easy, but nothing seems to please me. These scars they cannot heal. Pain is the only thing I feel. The only thing I feel. Is it real? Is it real? It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. This life we live is fragile. This glass castle, so many problems to tackle. Just wait for it to unravel.
And we are back. Dirty Diet Boys, one game one, and now on the blue side here, fighting off this very interesting team composition for Big Bongo Boys that we're trying to figure it out. Shellitronnn.
Right now, I can't let you finish another word. Look at Pachatori's items right now. Look at his items.
Okay, Pachatori. None. Bold
There it is.
choice. Let's see if it works out, Cotton. Okay, well that's just the brain fart. That's for sure.
Nice invade though.
Yo, and he's invading with the no items. That's even better. They get there. No one was hanging out there. They actually 3-stacked on the bottom side over here. So they're able to get that deep ward in.
Is he gonna back?
I wonder when he'll notice.
He can't now. I mean, he's at a minute. Wait, he has to. Wait, he has no jungle item though. He's gonna die.
Oh my god.
Wait, he's literally gonna die to the. Wait, Big Bongo Boys. They had.
He's realized now. He's back. He's like, oh no.
It's 120.
That's what feels bad. Here's what this team composition for the Big Bongo Boys does. It makes you not buy items to start the game. Somehow the composition did that. All right. Jokes aside.
Jokes aside. Never mind. Keep going.
Jokes aside, there gives be a tempo advantage right now, obviously, because the jungler didn't get the start of the game essentially until just now, and of course will not get a leash because all the everyone is out there in their lane. So this does give you potential for Dinosaur to make the first move. Of course, they don't objectively know that. They don't know that the other jungler didn't buy items to start off and are going to be literally an entire camp behind to start off this early game. But let's see if it comes to play. It should. In most cases, it should. But it'll be interesting to see if they actually can take advantage of it.
I wonder if maybe perhaps they have an idea or an inkling because you saw that both lanes. Wait a minute. I'm high, Gus.
Level
Stepping
2.
up.
They got level 2 first, so they're going for the fight. They get him down to under 200 HP. But I guess will eventually walk out of there, forced to use a potion to get out. Nice flip.
Nice flip. But yeah, don't worry about this Nautilus. He has grab.
Ooh, Sad Lantern, great play there. Photography Raptor was actually in a world of trouble if Sad Lantern does not get in there and get that knock up to make them back off. So good job, support. Thumbs up.
Great job, support. I was mentioning that they may have known that the Jarvan had a weird start because both laners in the top and the bot were in lane. Since Jarvan taking no type of leash is kind of strange. But Trundle coming up in the top lane. Bubblegum might be out of position.
This is a nice flip that forced Bubblegums in a bad spot here. Dinosaur is right here, gonna force the flash out. The pillar comes out, force Bubblegums to go around. Another flip comes through. That's on a lot lower cooldown than I thought it was. First blood goes over to Dinosaur. Meanwhile, gonna fight in the bot lane. Pachatori is right here to secure that one onto High Gus. But that'll be that, and they get one kill there, so it's a 1-for-1 now, and more or less things even. Ooh.
Yeah, a great engage in both lanes. And you're right, that flip for Singed is on a much lower cooldown than I would have assumed. I don't play Singed, and if you do play Singed, stop it. Not my game, please. not in my game, please. But I mean, yeah, you see very great discipline on the side of Janugle to wait for the flash to come out, burn the flash from the Scion, and then drop the pillar, and you're able to get that engage going. Then the flip makes it easy. Like I thought he had the kill secured anyway, but the flip from Styx on this Singed makes it easy. Both kills in the top and bot lane go to the junglers. So you're gonna see some good acceleration. That's really good for Pachatori. He had that bad start. That's gonna be great for him.
Yeah.
But decent enough for the Trundle. Is able to go first back bombies. An 1100 gold buy for a slow clear is 100% welcome for this Trundle.
Yeah, like I say, Trundle's an expensive build for the character, so him getting that kill actually ain't that bad considering Singed doesn't really need all that much going on for them. They're kind of the competitive advantage you get from that champion is that they push waves so efficiently, so you don't necessarily need crazy items for that. High Gus, though, has gotten to engage onto Sad Lantern here, who's taking quite a bit of damage, but Pachatori is here to answer that. Photography Raptor, ooh, that was real smooth. Way to go to pull that E perfectly to do enough damage to take that kill.
Yeah, that was a great engage. And Patrick Torrey says, okay, I knew that you burned your flash. Support burns flash. He's running grasp on this Nautilus. I know what to do. Comes right back to the bot lane. Comes in, engages. Sat Lantern is looking very good. Looked great on that Thresh last game, and looking just as good on this Alistar. But
Another gank to the top lane, another flip, puts Bubblegums in a bad spot again. Dinosaur's right here. He's got to walk around that pillar. He's trying to make his way out of there again. Does not have flash. They lost from earlier. Will not get a second flip off because it's not that low. But he does get away from that eventually. Meanwhile, they're just doing Dragon over here in the bot lane. Our Dirty Data boys. So it looks like they will get that one cleanly. Cleaner than the first time they got it. They soloed it with a set that took like a century to do it by themselves. But they are able to get that and have a Dragon advantage once again.
yeah, get the Dragon advantage, and then able to.
Ooh, Emperor's Divide did not quite put him enough to get him low enough to finish off that kill, but does force Joe Defense to back out of there. Had to use a flash too as well, so that's a cooldown gone. We'll see if that gets punished.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because Big Bongo Boys is focusing on this top lane, which is great, but you're going against a Scion, and if you see Patrick Torrey going toward that bot lane, yes, a Nautilus, but it's a no flash, and you have a very great, lot of good CC and displacement from the Xayah, recalling the feathers with the root, and then Sat Lantern on the Alistar. Excuse me, as another flip comes here for Bubba Gumps, but wait a minute.
Ooh, Torrey has met Dinosaur in a very tough spot, has nowhere to run to, and just gets eaten up. Nice play by Dinosaur to get the 1v1 kill in the jungle.
That was so weird. I had to break from my last point and talk about that because Patrick Torrey, as soon as he got the dragon, which was taken away on as soon as it spawned, he went to the jungle. He was in the blue side jungle of the Dinosaur. He was there for so long. I don't know why he was there for so long, why he overstayed in the jungle. He gives over his life. I'm pretty sure he gives over the blue buff as well, the Dinosaur. So
Sad Lantern comes in. Gonna get on top of this. Boxing Squirrel goes down pretty low, but is able to back off it here. Ignite ticking away, but it will not be enough. There's still 200 HP left on him.
Yeah, not enough to get the kill off, but Boxer Squirrel is able to get that proc of the Ravenous Flock. He does have 5 soul fragments. But what I want to notice is, in this bot lane, you did see Boxer Squirrel start Dark Seal. Didn't go for the Doran's Ring start. And when you see your support die twice before 5 minutes, it's kind of hard to get kill pressure and get actual value out of that Dark Seal start. Now, Singed, we talk about Singed a lot, but at least he does have 1 stack on his Dark Seal. This isn't a very great start for the side of Big Bongo Boys, at least for Boxer Squirrel here.
Yeah, true. We'll see what goes on here. Sticks the Ender being annoying. We were talking about earlier how a lot of annoying champs get bummed out, and well, no, you never think to ban out the Singe though. So that is another fairly annoying champion that Bubblegums is trying to deal with. Gets flipped right into Dinosaur once again. Will knock them both up. Can he at least get the trade kill here on the 6th Ender? But no, he's walking away. But Patch Torrey has come here to come help. Bubblegums will flash away, leaving Patch Torrey by himself. Oh, he'll just run right back in to knock up Dinosaur, who flashes over to another side to avoid a little bit of damage here, trying to win a 2v1 now because 60 Ender walked away, but 60 Ender comes back just to die to Patch Torrey. And Patch Torrey actually picks out a couple there. Will improve to 3 and 1, and they'll also likely get this Rift Herald.
60 Ender pops Ghost to run faster to his own death. Now, I love that flash from the Dinosaur to get away from that attack and able to to secure the kill. Both junglers are 3 and 1. You do see an extra assist on the side of Patrick Torrey here, but that was a strange engage that started off really great. I mean, Sticks, the duel between hold up.
Ooh, another fight going on in the bot lane. Sad Lantern is 6. My Gus is not. So they're going to focus down onto the Nautilus, get the Ignite off Sad Lantern, though, gets the pretty low. Ultimate then comes through from Boxy Squirrel. Re-engage, trying to come in from My Gus. They finally use their ultimate. There goes the feathers from Photography Raptor to take him down. They then go to focus onto Boxer Squirrel. Will flash away from that claw, but Boxer Squirrel flashes forward to at least pick up a kill. It will be a double kill from Photography Raptor, but a flashy play from Boxer Squirrel at least salvages something. Meanwhile, we have a fight over the top side here. Ends up being a kill for Dinosaur as they improve to 4 and 1 right now, and the jungler's gonna get a lot of action here.
Even know how that engage started top river, but that was a great fight. And in the bot lane, once again, I mean, it's this game. Wait a minute.
Oh, Bubblegums. sticks the ender, tries to flip it away, tries to run.
Yes.
Oh, no, chasing the Sage. He's doing the thing. He's doing the
Yeah,
thing.
he's doing it. He's doing it.
He's doing
You
it.
have him. You got him. You got him. He's 1 HP. Go get him. No. Go get him.
Yeah, yeah. Again,
Question
back
mark
to annoying champions.
Oh man, that is so tough. Yeah, you think, like you said, you think about the annoying champions. You think about the normal annoying champions as Pagans. Does he
Ooh.
miss the cannon there? Let's take our eyes away from that real quickly. But a great engages into both the bot lane and the top river. The flashes used offensively to go ahead and dodge a skill and secure kills onto the members of both squads. Very good start from the Xayah. Already has Essence Reaver making his way to get those tier 1 boots as Dragon does get started. And it looks like there won't be any kind of counterplay or counter engage here. We're going to even out the Dragon score 1-1 between the Dirty Diet boys and the big Bongo boys.
Yeah, good play by Big Bongo. They got priority in the bot lane and then just go over towards the dragon that spawns and just secure it because the other team can't really contest it. Just good fundamentals there to pick up a dragon here so it doesn't just all landslide over to kind of the Dirty Diet boys as it did in the first game. So they at least got that going, but the biggest thing is you have this huge monster right now in Photography Raptor who's real strong here, has shown really good play right now on the Xayah. Like mechanically has played the champion really well, which is like not even the most impressive part. And yeah, they've built themselves a strong lead.
Yeah, built themselves a decent lead, at least a lead in the kills.
Yeah, oh, and this might be more. Donical Story is here to answer it, but it's not answered soon enough. Photography Raptor does to get that, but does get knocked up from the ultimate from High Gus. But the death charge isn't enough to make them back off because they're right back at it. Patch Story is here, so is Bubba Gump. They're trying to get on top of this, but Sad Lantern does not go down. Photography Raptor just gets another kill, and then Bubba Gump finishes off High Gus. 5-0-1 on the Xayah, and that's 80 carry. 80 carries can be good still.
Wow, I mean, when you have sustained damage from a an AD damage dealing champion, imagine the kind of magical things that are possible on the Rift. I mean, it's never before seen. This is a tactic. This is a strategy that we'll have to look into a little bit later in the post game. And when we do the VOD review, we're gonna have to see. Wait a minute.
Hold on.
80 carries? Wait, who?
Oh wait, 80 carries aren't completely trash. And to be fair, I'm one of the 80 carry players that screams that 80 carries is trash all the time. But in reality, they're important. It's an important role. And
No,
Photography Raptor has proven that.
I think that in solo queue at least, 80 carry is such a bad role because it needs to be peeled for it, but with so much damage and so much healing in the game, you don't need to actually peel for your 80 carry in solo queue. Like, it's like everyone does damage, everyone does giga damage, everyone heals, so it's like, yeah, we could peel for our ADC, but honestly, I mean, we don't need you for real.
We don't need you for real.
It's gonna be, we'll be just fine. Ooh.
Oh, Pagan's got himself in a world of trouble over here. Dinosaur's right behind them. Emperor's Divide completely whiffs. Boxer Squirrel secures the kill.
And then the ADC comes up in the back end and just steals the kill.
Ooh, Photography Raptor right here gonna use that Feather Storm and dominate that team fight, picking up a double kill. 7-0-1 Photography Raptor. Just proven what they can do on this champion.
I'm not convinced yet. I think this 7-0-1 by what do you call it? An ADC? Wait.
Attack damage carry, as we're seeing that attack damage coming in and carrying. Dinosaur though is tanking up quite a bit over here. Side Lantern does eventually go down. Dinosaur is able to walk out of that one, but to be fair, Dinosaur's got 5 kills on him, so he's pretty tanky right now too.
Yeah, the Nugal Sword does have those 5 kills, and he does have the Iceborne paired with the plated steel caps. I always think it's like steel plated cap.
I
like
almost say
random...
Ninja Tabbies every single time, and then I like, God, I should say the right thing, I guess.
Yeah, changing the names of items that have had that name for so long. Flip. Here we go.
Yeah, but it's like I still say Pink Ward, even though the Control Ward has been red for a long time. That's the one I can't get. That's what I can't get rid of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop saying Pink Ward. I call them tabbies in my games, but I when I cast, I try to remember which, if it's plated steel cap, steel plated cap boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's the 80 ones, the 80 the armor ones.
Oh, Boxer Squirrel's got a nice pull onto Pagans here, but We'll walk with now. Never mind. Oh my, Gus gets aggressive, so Boxy Scroll can pick up another one. Suddenly, 3 kills onto the Swain is going to be decent for them. But here sticks the Ender trying to get onto Sad Lantern here as well as onto Photography Raptor. Big shutdown is available there, but Photography Raptor is absolutely a monster, flashing for bonus effect. Go forward. Ooh, 9-0-2 now. Just rolling around nicely.
This is what happens when you have an AD carry on your team. I mean, Zydus comes in. You think you have a good engage. I mean, that was pretty great. You see Nautilus hook on the ground, Pagans on the Azir in the air. The hook is gonna hit, my brother. It's gonna hit. So he gets locked down. He's 0-2 in the mid lane, but don't you worry because AD carry will carry for you. This is one of the few times you'll see your AD carry actually make moves on the map and actually be a monster in this sense. Vision gonna be put down in this brush, immediately get cleared.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say specifically too, and I think this is kind of just a win in draft too, is that Xayah specifically is such a very strong AD carry against short range teams, and that's basically what you have on the other side. Like the long range person there is the Swain, but from that, there's no real long range way to punish the short range of Xayah. So she'll get dirty in those fights right in front of your face, and then if you try to engage on her, she can get out with that Feather Storm. So it's just a good champion specifically in this game too, and then you did nothing to counter it, kind of with the Swain pick at the end there. So Joe Defense tries to jump in, try to make something happen, but what you gonna do? Photographer Raptor goes legendary, double kill. Now continue to put it on. Azir will get one of those kills. Pekin's got one. 6 to Ender. All you can do is run away. Boxy Squirrel just has to vacate the premises. They get the dragon. They get 3 kills. They're well on their way to a 2-0.
Yep, 3 kills for none, and like you mentioned, Photography Raptors is in the back line just free hitting with impunity. Like, he didn't take a single hit. He got 2 kills. Was it 3 kills there, or was it 2? I think it was
2 in that one. 2 in that one.
Yeah, it was 2.
2 in that one. Azir got the other one.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just sitting there doing sustained damage.
Oh,
Good
sticks the
engage.
Ender. Goes down to half health on just a few auto attacks. That's what happens when AD carry has 11 kills. And they still haven't backed from that last fight, so still probably has a decent amount of gold to spend too as well. They try to get an engage on the Bubba Gums, but that's a tanky boy. He'll be able to walk out of there just fine. And Sticks the Ender's gonna maybe get themselves in a world of trouble if they keep going forward here, but they kind of wisely back off at least enough to not get fought on right away. And Bubba Gums here, just gonna sit here and protect the AD carry. That's all you gotta do at this point. Just let Photographer Raptor shine in this game. But Raptor gets grounded up here. They're trying to get on top of them, but that's what I'm saying. When you don't have long-range ways to punish Photography Raptor, it's going to be hard to get onto them.
Yeah, that is 100% the case. And on the back end of that Dragon Engage, while we were seeing this posturing in the mid lane, we did see Pacatory on this Jarvan able to go ahead and take the Rift Herald.
Dinosaur in way too far. Just wanted to finish the tower, he's going to say in chat. But it gets punished for trying to do so. But they are pushing into this mid lane because there's 4 of them here. But here's a big engage from Sad Lantern. Photography Raptor, once again, beautiful Feather Storm will dodge most of it, but they do eventually get a little bit onto her. Can they press E to finish off this fight? Photography Raptor lives through all of that, gets a triple kill. And that'll be an ace as they're going to push down top lane and mid lane at the same time.
Yep, so you have Gore Drinker and you have the Herald on the side of Pacatory. You can go ahead and make some crazy moves here. Gonna get dropped top actually while the kill squad is in the mid lane. You definitely get the tier 2 tower. You definitely get another charge onto this inhib tower here. While Photography Raptor, who is 14-0-4, still hasn't backed yet, has Gale Force, Essence Reaver.
Sitting on 2,600 gold too as well, so they're going to finally back, or if they're going to keep fighting here. This is actually a pretty decent engage here right now for the Bongo boys as they are fighting on top of this. Bubblegum's gone pretty low. Boxer Screw will eventually pick up the kill. Pagan's trying to run away here, but Sticks to Ender can run at you and eventually pick up that kill. Joe Defense can do some damage here now. So they got themselves 2 kills there, and just a wee bit of an overstay there by the Dirty Dad boys.
Yeah, able to get a 150 gold shutdown onto the Azir for the Sin, so that'll be all right, I guess. But these are just fast backs for the side of Dirty Diet Boys who are going to go back and spend that gold. And they're still strongly in the advantage, strongly ahead. 22 kills to 10 at 19 minutes, and they have a 12k gold, I'm sorry, an 8k gold lead if my math is right here. In 20 minutes, you're looking at a very strong team, but a tier 1 turret for 2 deaths for after those 2 kills, you'll take that if you're the big Bongo boys.
Yeah, there you go. Production Raptors backed off, spent the 2,800 gold, picks up most of an Infinity Edge, and then grabs themselves some grievous wounds with the X collar. And yeah, this means they are set up to fight well. Dragon's still a minute 25 away here, so likely they're just going to push in all the waves, establish some vision, and pick up the next dragon and put on some soul pressure.
Now this is a very interesting look. If you go ahead and look at the items here. Now when I played Swain APC, I always went toward Leandries, but this Everfrost, you've been seeing, I think you've been seeing Everfrost on more champions lately. Everfrost on the Swain is a very interesting choice. It does grant all their legendaries 15 AP, so that's pretty good. He did go ahead and upgrade the 2-stack Dark Seal to a Magi's, but that's a very interesting build. I haven't seen too many Everfrost Swains.
I like the idea of it, but again, it doesn't really help you get on top of Photography Raptor. Like, maybe if you get close enough to root, but like honestly, if you get that close, Photography Raptor should just be able to auto-talk you away, especially at this point, just kind of comically ahead in this game. So, I'm intrigued by it. I would like to kind of see it in a situation where they're not heavily behind like they are in this game.
Yeah. This isn't the best place to actually see what the build is.
Oh, here comes Joe Defense. Big ultimate comes in, pops that Pop Blossom right in the middle of a lot of them. So it's not a bad engage, but what can they continue to do here? Joe Defense is the first kill. Stick and Ender follows up with another one here, but Photography Raptor starting to pop off. He's got himself 2 now, but it's only down 200 HP. Can they take out Dinosaur? No, just walks up and chomps at him. 3 for 3 now. Boxier Squill is the one that can potentially do a little bit of damage here. And this is where maybe they want to have Leandries, because this is going to be a lot of damage they have to get through, but they eventually melt through Bubba Gums, and now they're going to try to focus down the Sad Lantern here, but Bubba Gums is actually going to flip over here. Boxer Squirrel is on their Sad Lantern now, trying to walk away. Dinosaur is continuing to get on top of them, so will knock them up, then knock them back. But there's a pillar, means you can't run away. Dinosaur will take them down, shut down, and in a long-winded way, it was sort of an ace. Obviously, people just spawn now, though. But yeah, that's a pretty decent fight there for the other boys.
Now, I will say this, that was a very long engage where it kind of got scary, where Big Bongo Boys stayed and they were still going on with the engage through all that. Now, throughout all that, the death timers did come through, and that was just like, I guess a little bit of stalling mechanisms. This Infernal Drake is going down, not quickly, but there's no real contest here.
Here, Sticks the Ender again, trying to be annoying over here. That Dragon's down to 1,500 HP. It's now down to under 1,000 here. Who's going to finish it off? It will be the blue team. Patch Torre is able to steal that one away. Photography Raptor, meanwhile, will take down Dinosaur. He's got himself in a fight with High Gus. He's got lots of people here to protect him. Will eventually get taken down by Boxier Squirrel, so they can start moving forward here without the big 80 carry. Bubba Gums, though, does take down Joe Defense. 2 for 1 now. Sticks the Ender is now trying to run away. They continue the fight, trying to go forward over here, trying to get on top of Boxier Squirrel with that Azir. Sticks the Ender finally gets caught out here by Sad Lantern, but singed. Well, I guess that's why you play Singed, and you do stuff like that. Patch Torre then secures the kill on High Gus. Boxier Squirrel will flash away, tries to patch down Patch Torre, but can't quite do so, and then puts himself in quite a bit of trouble. Still has ultimate, trying to trade a kill here. Will go golden. Pagans, though, will finish you off after that finishes, and whew, this has suddenly become a bloody affair. Here's a teleport. Why would we want this fight to stop? Sticks the Ender, trying to get in there, trying to make something happen there. There are a bunch of low members here, but do they have the ability to do any damage to them? They do not. Pagans will finish them off. Dinosaur does walk up and chomp down onto Pachatory, and now Dinosaur is trying to fight the rest of them off here, but here's Pagans applying a lot of damage. By the way, this is an Azir. We were talking about Xayah all game. Azir is online here with that Leandries, and finally this team fight's over. I'm going to let you speak for a while.
I am actually speechless. Now, okay, the Dragon Engage, I think I can understand. The Dragon take was very slow, so you did have an opportunity to go ahead, as Brandon's taking now, get a chance to go ahead and engage and maybe get a steal, but you had no smite. Trundle was still back in the jungle on his way there. All you had was the Singed and the Nautilus. I think Nico was coming on the backside. So you had no real shot at taking the Dragon, honestly, maybe getting a kill in the back end. But during all that fighting, you didn't have that much of a of a chance to get a good engage in. And you saw multiple chances, multiple times where Boxer Squirrel had opponents down to about 100ish, even very low health, where the burn from a Leandries would have been a very great a kill secure, and then you can maybe turn the fight around even if he dies, because even when he died, there was still some decent shots at fighting there. But then we see Sticks the Ender way too late. I didn't know that Pastoy was kind of low. He was taking the Raptor camp, trying to gain some health. He didn't smite the big chicken, but there were some low members. But you don't want your Singe. If that's an Aatrox, maybe. If that's something else, maybe. But your Singe going in out of nowhere, as the fight might not stop here.
I am the worst person at figuring out that that's Negro Cone. Anyway, they're going forward here, and Boxer gets jumped on top of the Negro, go into stasis, and then die immediately afterward. Pastory securing that one. 60 Ender trying to run away here. Photography Raptor does take out High Gus as well. 60 Ender will walk away, but that means there's only 3 members still up for the Big Bongo Boys, as they have this Baron buff and the ability to melt towers as they get this mid inhibitor down, and then can move over towards the top. And 60 Ender just stays too close, gets jumped on, and immediately blown up. They don't even have to finish off that top tower. It looks like they're just going to continue going forward. Joe defense, again, I know it's a Nico cone because it's a different color on my screen, but I'm stupid. Anyway, so they're going to continue to focus down the towers. Dinosaur tries to run at them. Photography Raptor will just click you till you die. Here's Boxer Squirrel, gonna choose the ultimate. So is Joe Defense. They're trying to get it onto there, but a Photography Raptor avoids all of it and then blows them up. Batchtory secures 2 of them. Photography Raptor gets the last one to go to 19 at 2-9, and a 2-0 victory goes to the Dirty Die Boys.
2 words, draft diff. I mean, look, you cannot allow your Trundle, you can't allow your Trundle to be your carry. He's 7-7-7. A couple of those kills on the back end, bad engages. You had to do something. Your Sims did almost nothing. You tried to focus him in the early game. You tried to get kills on the Scion. Worked once, worked a little bit later, but that wasn't your win con to get your Singed ahead, which didn't get ahead. He started Dark Seal into the game with 0 stacks. Your Swain APC, last pick, last counter pick. You have Nautilus already there. You see, okay, across the board, we have a lot of AP, no sustained damage. Okay, let's pick this Swain. Starts Dark Seal. That's a little bit tough. You got beaten by a team whose jungler didn't get his jungle item until 1 minute 20 seconds. He actually went into your jungle. He invaded your jungle with no items. Not a single item to his name. He had 500 gold. The 500 gold the gods of the rift just hand you out of their benevolence. And he walked into your jungle with no items with impunity.
Yeah.
A leashless start for Jarvan. And you lost to that because your team comp was just not very good. I mean, there was just no...
there.
And then you have Zaya going crazy. 17-ish kills. What was it? 17 kills?
19, 2 and 9.
19 kills, 2 deaths, 9 assists. I mean, you're not gonna do anything against that. And when your Azir also scales, the team comp for the side of Big Bongo Boys needs to be rethought. All this extra, subbing out and flexing and saying, okay, we picked this, then this guy's gonna play here. If they let us get this through the draft, then you got to stop all that. You have to focus on the drafts and the champ pools and put together team comps that actually work. It's been twice, 2 games in a row, where you look at the 2 drafts and think, Big Bongo Boys are giving themselves a disadvantage before we've even loaded onto the Rift.
Yeah. Well, they will go to 1-1. The Dirty Die Boys will improve to 2-0 now on the season. Congratulations on that. One shout out I want to give you out to Bubba Gumps. Was probably my MVP of the first game just for just being this crazy cho'gath that was unkillable. But Photography Raptor really impressed me, specifically mechanically. And I just want to give a shout out because Photography Raptor is a caster too, fellow caster. So it's nice to see the casters can play too. And the other thing is, you see Silver 1, traditionally like a gold player, just Silver 1 right now. And you think, they're not going to be mechanically that good at the game. What are they going to be? Photography Raptor, some of the plays they made, like again, you're up against a good team comp for you to make these plays. But Photography Raptor, push for plat this season, my dude, because I legitimately think, I don't know how the rest of your solo queue games go, whether it's a mental thing or whatever, but mechanically, at the very least, impressed me a lot in this game.
Yeah, and even on the Jinx, he played very well.
Yeah,
I think that that couldn't be understated. But like you mentioned, Bubba Gumps on that Cho'Gath. I mean, he was literally the size of the towers, bigger
Yeah,
than
that was
towers,
awesome.
the size of the Nexus. He was the size of the Nexus, and we watched we watched the whole Big Bongo Boys composition trying to free hit him in one of those fights near topside red jungle, and he just ate all that damage and then turned around and feasted on them himself. So yeah, Photography Raptor and Bubba Gumps, very very great in this game. Patchatory, hey, I don't know if the strategy is now to go itemless into hard carrying 7-4 and 21 onto the Jarvan. I might have to try that in my solo queue games.
I
I'm gonna do
don't.
that myself. I've been converted.
It's a challenge. Yeah, you got to do that. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna 80. You see the 80Z challenge, but here's the not buying items for 2 minutes challenge. No, I wouldn't want to do that personally, but go for it if you really want to. That is gonna end the stream tonight, I think, folks. On that note, congratulations, Dirty Diet Boys, again for improving your record to 2-0, and we'll be back next week with more action. Again, it's my first cast with you, and it was really fun, and it's nice to see some instant chemistry with you, Shellitronnn. I look forward to more. As well, shout out to Marxus on the production side of things. Uh, pressing those buttons, making sure the scene looks great, and making sure the stream looks great for you all. Just want to give a shout out to him too as well.
Additionally, he actually came through last minute. Our original
True.
producer was not able to come through, and he actually was able to put this through on his channel. So we got to give him an extra shout out for that, being so flexible in his role. Man, he did some very good work. You press like my man Jonny Esports said, you press the buttons. You press the buttons, and the things change. And that's all you need. That's all you need from you. You did it exceptionally.
Awesome. We'll see you all next time, folks. Peace out.
There is one thing that I know, and it is as we grow, life gets worse as we grow old. Beating on my heart like it's a drum, beating on these walls till my hands are numb. Make me believe that I can receive, achieve the happiness that I once perceived as fine in school, whatever. It's fine in school, whatever. I thought this life was easy, but nothing seems to please me. These scars, they cannot heal. Pain is the only thing I feel. The only thing I feel. Is it real? Is it real? It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. It's fine. It's cool. Whatever. This life we live is fragile. This glass castle, so many problems to tackle. Just wait for it to unravel. I could stay with you in this bed, I'd do anything you asked me to do. If I could lay there under the stars, I'd give my life just to see you with you. But there is pain hidden deep in my heart that says I shouldn't think one thought about you. I'll wait for rain to hit me in the head to wake me up from this